This is QTV Nightly News coming to you from our studios on Caraba Avenue. I am Omudu Gajaga and thank you for joining us. First, here are the main news headlines. Senegal's President Bassirou Diomaye Faye arrived in the country this morning for a one-day state visit accompanied by a high-powered government delegation. The Minister for Environment, Rohey John Manjang, and the officials of the World Bank on Friday presided over the construction of the first electricity pole for the ECOWAS Regional Electricity Access Project, ECO-REAP, at the Jarasoma. The Minister of Trade and Employment visited Quest Institute of Technology, QIT, as part of his visit to Q Group Link companies. In international news, custom officials in Senegal intercepted over 1 ton of cocaine hidden within packets concealed in a lorry. And in sports news, the GFF First Division Week 20 match between champions Real de Banjul and relegation-threatened Brikama United produced everything one would expect from a fierce football rivalry. Those were the news headlines, now the news in detail. Welcome and thank you for joining us. This is QTV News. Senegal's President Bassirou Diomaye Faye arrived in the country this morning for a day visit, accompanied by a high-powered delegation of his government, and President Faye was received by his counterpart, President Barrow. In a final communique, the two leaders expressed their readiness to open up more areas of cooperation and consolidate the existing bilateral ties between Banjul and Dakar. Aliou Cissé has the rest of the story.
President Bassirou Diomaye Faye is visiting the country for the first time as President of Senegal. He is being received by his counterpart, President Adama Barrow, senior members of his government, and members of the diplomatic corps. En route to his hotel, large crowds line the highway, cheering and applauding the Senegalese president. President Barrow later received his visitor at the State House in Banjul, where they had a tete-a-tete before later issuing a final joint communique read by the Gambia's Foreign Affairs Minister, Dr. Mamadou Tangara, and his Senegalese counterpart, Yassine Fall.
The two leaders reaffirmed the firm commitment of their governments to continue to work together to advance the excellent bilateral relations that happily exist between the two sister republics, and in this regard agreed to intensify consultations between the authorities of the two governments to implement the agreement signed on security, defense, forestry and wildlife management, trade, air travel, education, and the judiciary. The two heads of state also discussed issues and developments at regional, continental, and global levels, and agreed to continue consultations and cooperation on issues of shared interest.
The relations between the Republic of the Gambia and Senegal have increased in recent years in significance of the existing bilateral relations. The two countries have enjoyed excellent relations over the years and developed mutually beneficial cooperation supporting socio-economic development. Speaking Wolof, one of the local languages spoken in both countries, the two leaders renewed their commitment to further strengthening the ties between Banjul and Dakar. President Barrow thanked Senegal for the goodwill of cooperation in various areas since he assumed office.
Aliou, thank you very much. I think this visit is a very significant one. The visit is a historic visit. The visit is a family visit, and it's a traditional one. It has always been like this. When a new president is elected in Senegal or the Gambia, always their first visit is to the sister country of the Gambia or Senegal. We discuss a lot of issues, especially bilateral issues. We discuss trade also between these two countries. And we further discuss the Senegal or Gambia Secretariat, how to strengthen that. Because the Senegal or Gambia Secretariat is an office that is an independent office. Ambassadors are representing both countries. So they are very important and it is unique. So we discuss that. And very soon I will send some of my ministers to go there to engage their Senegalese counterpart. We also discuss about the OIC. We need support from Senegal, especially parking for aeroplanes that are coming for the summit. We discuss all that, so we are going to finalize that within these 2 weeks. So it's a very historic one.
For President Diomaye Faye, the visit is another opportunity to open up discussions for future possible cooperation in areas critical to socio-economic development of the country. While giving assurances of his government's commitment to the Gambia, President Faye thanked President Barrow for attending his swearing-in ceremony and the people of the Gambia for the warm reception.
Li taaral diggante bi li ko rafetal li ko gën a dëgëral fi ci président Macky Sall mi nga xamante ne maa ko fi wutu emoon foofu rek laa mën a continuer dem ci kaw waaye mënuma def lu ko yees.
President Faye left the country with a renewed hope of a more united Senegambia. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cissé.
The Minister for Environment, Rohey John Manjang, and the officials of the World Bank on Friday presided over the construction of the first electricity pole for ECOWAS Regional Electricity Access Project, ECORIP, at Jarasoma OMVG substation. Julden Jaya tells us more.
Funded by the World Bank, the objective of the first phase of ECORIP is to increase grid electricity access in the Republic of Guinea-Bissau, the Republic of Mali, and the Republic of the Gambia. This is the first component of the project, which include design, supply, and installation of electricity distribution infrastructure to maximize new connections. Honorable Sidi Lamin Ba, Governor of the Lower River Region, assured government and stakeholders of LRR's commitment to the sustainability of the project. Ms. Elise Akitani, tax team leader of the project and senior energy specialist at the World Bank, underscores the importance of the $66 million project that aims to electrify 298 communities.
The project will cover, I will say, completely the countries, many communities from Bukana and many communities from Soma substation of OFVG. We are going to provide also on the project 50,000 connections. And during the implementation, during this mission, we realized that already 44% of improvement of the implementation of the project. We hope that before the end of this year, that you are going to get your electricity that you have been expected.
Bayonyibe Dabiri, ECOWAS Director of Energy and Mines, assures of ECOWAS' commitment to work with stakeholders to achieve the universal access to electricity.
Electricity is very important for the economic development, and it's a huge challenge in our region since we have about 56% energy access, people that are missing still energy access. So it's about 180 million people when we calculate in the region, and we have to do our best to have the access to all this population. In line with this effort to the energy access, we have initiated with the World Bank the EOR Project, and we are working since about 3 to 4 years now, and today is an important event.
Gallo Sedi, the managing director of NAWEC, emphasized the importance of the event.
And the government have provided that foundation and the enabling environment for this project to take off. It is for the Gambia, it is for the region. And we've been the pioneers in this step. I think we are very privileged and honored to be in the forefront to lead such a project. Now, if you look at electricity, is the backbone of development in this country.
Rohey John Manjang, the Minister for Environment, represented the Minister of Energy at the event.
The project was supposed to be completed in December 2023. So it has already passed another extension line for October 31st. We hope, and I strongly mention this, we hope that's the last extension time. Don't dash the hopes of the Gambian people, of our community, who have been waiting too long to attain their self-right in terms of electrification.
The minister and partners took a conducted tour of the substation to assess the level of progress. The stakeholders also visited the contractor's material store at Jarasoma and Sanyenga, a beneficiary community in Kombo East, who applauded the initiative. For QTV News, I am Julden Jai.
The Minister of Trade, Employment visited Quest Institute of Technology, QIT, a leading institute in ICT training in the Gambia, as part of his visit to Q Group Link companies. In this visit, The Trade Minister has underscored QIT's role in skills development and employability of Gambians in both the local and international labour market. QTV's Mahmoud Lamin Choi has the rest of the story.
The Minister of Trade and Employment visited Gambia's oldest and leading ITC training institute, which began operations more than 25 years ago. Quantum Institute of Technology, which has recently been rebranded as Quest Institute of Technology, was founded by the Q Group chairman, Mohamed Jah.
When I started my business career, this was my first business.
Yeah.
And the reason was we used to have government used to bring a lot of consultants out to teach people Word, Perfect, and Lotus. Maybe a lot of the young ones don't know.
Yeah.
So I found that to be bizarre,
Yeah.
that we have to fly a consultant all over from UK, get him to a hotel to teach us how to type a letter. So we decided to start with the QIT. And the whole objective was to be able to teach people technology.
Over the years, QIT has transformed, expanded, and become a household name in the ITC sector, where thousands of Gambians have acquired professional skills that are much needed in the labour market and critical to our national development.
Because I think as the oldest institute of technology in the country, we have a lot to give, and our lecturers are top-notch. We also harvest a lot from the Q Group from here. We harvest a lot. And that's why Q Group is where it is, because a lot of the employees you see from Q Group, they graduated from here. And some of them maybe did some other courses.
At QIT, students are exposed to the world of technology with training in computer hardware and software. Professional courses covered include Microsoft application, Cisco, A+, graphic design, database administration, systems administration, human resource management, business management, and marketing. Minister Diouf recognizes the significance of QIT's contribution to skills development and the labour market.
All works in the future will be ICT based. We all talk about the scare, the threat that is coming from AI, artificial intelligence. But again, what this institution is doing and is going to do for Gambian society is to provide us the avenue to raise our skills level to a level that we are internationally competent.
Given QIT's capacity, the Trade and Employment Minister underscored the need for government's collaboration with QIT in its drive to create jobs and promote skills development of Gambians, particularly the youth.
QIT is one institution that we can go quickly, rapidly, and get a new skill, particularly one that can link you to the labor market outside the Gambia. So I think that's an institution. That's why we invited them to work with my team for us to develop some programs that can help to provide that conduit, that link between their current skill set and their next job.
With a significant impact on human capital development in the Gambia, Quest Institute of Technology's vision is to become a leading technical university in the Gambia in ITC, engineering, science, management, and other fields. Mahmoud Lamin Choi, QTV News.
We will now go for a commercial break, and when we return, we still have some more local and international news stories. Do stay tuned.
The third edition of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation Investment Forum will be held in the Gambia under the auspices of His Excellency President Adama Barrow and the OIC Secretary General on Thursday, 2nd and 3rd May 2024 at the Carabao Hotel.
Welcome, ahlan wa sahlan, welcome to Banjul.
The golden opportunity to the smiling coast of Africa will bring together presidents of international financial institutions, including ISDB, AFDB, Badia, Afrexim Bank, Fagas, and others. The investment forum will also convene the highest level of economic and investment actors across the 57 OIC member countries from both the public and private sector to explore investment opportunities in the Gambia and promote economic growth and job creation. All that in these will include senior government actors, 60 top international investors, employers' federations, chambers of commerce, professional associations, bankers, and insurers.
We welcome the investors to come and invest into the Gambia. We are open for business.
Don't miss the chance to be part of this transformative process.
Gambia is proud to host the 15th OIC Summit on the 4th and 5th May 2024, the second largest gathering of world leaders, kings, presidents, rulers, prime ministers, along with delegates from 57 member countries of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation will gather in our beloved nation for this historic event. The theme of the summit is enhancing unity and solidarity through dialogue for sustainable development. It's a platform to foster cooperation, promote peace and drive sustainable development across the Ummah and the world at large. We call on all Gambians to unite and support the government as it strives to host a memorable and successful event. Let's showcase our hospitality, culture and the beauty of the Gambia to the world. Join us in making history. Let's stand together, united as one, to ensure the 15th OIC Summit in the Gambia is an event to remember. Together, we can make a difference.
Welcome back and thank you very much for joining us. This is QTV News. The Gambia Competition and Consumer Protection Commission and the Gambia Public Procurement Authority on Thursday launched a procurement best practice guideline to support public procurement officials perform their duties in line with international best practices. More in this report.
Public procurement is the process by which government buys work, goods and services it needs to function and maximize public welfare. Officials say the new guideline will address some of the common concerns arising from anti-competition public procurement. This will further contribute to the promotion of effective competition in public procurement, advance the development of small and medium enterprise for the benefit of public sector, institutions and consumers. Here is Ibrahim Sanyang, Director of Policy and Operations, GPPA.
This is a document that can direct with clear procedures as to how competition should be done. As you are aware, competition is very important in public procurement because you will be able to select based on your requirements from a pool of sort of offers, and then there, based on your requirements, you take the one that you think is best suitable for your needs and the like.
One of the most corrupt-prone government activities is public procurement. The reasons for this include the volume of transactions and the financial interests at stake, as well as the complexity of the process and the close interaction between public officials and businesses. The guidelines should help minimize the risk. Here is Amadou Cisse, Executive Secretary, GCCPC.
What are the consequences of engaging in bid rigging? You don't achieve value for money. So if you misprocure, obviously you don't achieve value for money. You don't achieve the benefits of it, which is lower prices, better quality products. And then most importantly, you discourage what we call innovation by companies and international competitiveness.
The Gambia Procurement Authority launched a procurement portal to facilitate and ensure a more organized and corrupt-free procurement process. How is the portal shaping up after its launch in March this year?
It's going very nicely because it shows a way of trying to bring innovation in public procurement. It is saving cost and a lot of other efficiencies because, again, it's trying to avoid direct contact between procurement actors like the suppliers and the buyers. And in that way, corruption will be minimized and so on.
Procurement complaints are handled by a complaints review board that investigate complaints and appeals against procurement organizations. Reporting for QTV News, I am Jennifer Sonko.
Now to international news. Custom officials in Senegal intercepted over 1 ton of cocaine hidden within packets concealed in bags on a lorry. This comes as drug traffickers appear to be using West Africa as a transit point for Latin American drug cartels trafficking illicit substances to Europe and other destinations. Here is the report.
Staggering haul was discovered in a refrigerated lorry in the town of Kidira, near Senegal's border with Mali. valued at $146 million. The seizure represents the largest inland confiscation of cocaine in the West African nation. Acting on prior intelligence, officers meticulously scanned the seemingly empty vehicle, leading to the discovery of a cleverly concealed stash. The recent success by the Senegalese authorities underscores a growing trend of drug interceptions in the country. Like Senegal, Gambia authorities are displaying unwavering determination in their efforts to combat the flow of illegal narcotics through the country. In the Gambia in 2010, at least 2 tons of cocaine with an estimated street value of $1 billion were seized by the Drug Law Enforcement Agency, bound for Europe. In January 2022, Gambia's narcotic officials, supported by other security agents, intercepted a container at the Banjul seaport with a large quantity of cocaine worth an estimated $4.5 billion. The container, part of a shipment said to be from Ecuador, contained 118 bags of cocaine weighing over 2 tons. In February 2022, Gambia's Drug Law Enforcement Agency seized more than 500 bundles of suspected cannabis worth $1.7 million in the West Coast and the North Bank regions. In October 2022, the Gambia's National Drug Law Enforcement Agency intercepted 734 blocks of cocaine weighing more than 800 kilograms. In 2023, $15 million worth of drugs were seized by the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, and 27 suspects were arrested in the West Coast region. According to the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, West and Central Africa have become regions of high consumption of drugs. These regions are also significant transport points for illicit drugs, particularly cocaine, direct from Latin America to European markets. Aldo Dele Campbell reporting for QTV News.
And from that report, now to sports news. The GFF First Division League Week 20 match between champions Real de Banjul and relegation-threatened Brikama United produced everything one would expect from a fierce rivalry in football. There were 3 red cards, 5 goals and confrontations, and they still managed to play some football. More in this report. Brikama United won 3-2, but the victory was not without scenes of madness in a fixture in which champions Real de Banjul were seeking to solidify their lead at the top, while Brikama United were battling to avoid the drop. Despite a tight opening to the match, Brikama United seemed to have seized the initiative and went into the break leading 2-0 with Mohamed Krubali and Seni Bojang scoring for the Sateba boys. Real de Banjul had a goal disallowed for offside. The introduction of Mohamed Suso and Amadou Nyasi for Real de Banjul boosted their midfield and left wing. Nyasi's ball control and spectacular passing ability was the turning point. Mohamed Suso had thunderous shots, hitting the post twice, with his second hitting the underside. This spell of dominance led to Musa Dabo conceding an own goal to reduce the deficit for the champions. Amadou Nyasi scored an equalizer for Real de Banjul. Just when it looked like Real de Banjul were heading for a win, with the flurry of scoring chances, Brikama United stunned them with Dominic Correa scoring a winner. This is how coach Modula Minture of Brikama United reacted to the victory.
Yeah, a very good game by my boys. Of course, I'll concentrate on my team first. But hard luck to Real. They played a very good game. I think my boys, regarding my team, we are a little bit down because most of the players I found, tactically they are indisciplined. I think if I'm able to work on that in 2-3 weeks, we will be fine. We will be fine.
Ibrahim Fadera, coach of Real de Banjul, questioned some of the refereeing decisions which went against his team.
I think I have an advantage over my players, not the decision of the referee. Everybody needs to be on top of your game, and I think we as the Real Banjul players and the technical department, we are on top of our game. So if the referee in charge of the game is not on top of his game, I'm not responsible, honestly.
Is that in another way to say those decisions were controversial?
Absolutely. To me, in my opinion, to me the first penalty was a penalty, and then to me the second goal was a clear goal. But when I went to the referee, he said, to my opinion, I told him yes. He said to his opinion, he's the man present, so it's an offside. So it's not a penalty. So obviously, I have to digest that and then move on.
From the non-football side of things, Brikama United captain Seni Bojang was shown a red card for a scuffle with Amadou Nyasi. Real de Banjul goalkeeper Lamin Sedi too was giving his marching orders for his role in the melee. Despite the defeat, Real de Banjul remain at the top of the standings on 42 points, 8 points ahead of Fortune FC, who were held to a 2-2 draw by Team Rhino in their Week 20 fixture. Brikama United moved up 2 places to 11th after their victory. Mamudu Gajaga, QTV News. Now, before we end this news bulletin, here is a recap of our main news headlines. Senegal's President Bassirou Diomaye Faye arrived in the Gambia, or in the country this morning, for a one-day state visit accompanied by a high-powered government delegation. The Minister for Environment, John Manjang, and the officials of the World Bank on Friday presided over the construction of the first electricity pole for the ECOWAS Regional Electricity Access Project, ECORIP, at Jarasoma. The Minister of Trade and Employment visited Quest Institute of Technology, QIT, as part of his visit to Q Group-linked companies. In international news, custom officials in Senegal intercepted over 1 ton of cocaine hidden within packets concealed in a lorry. And in sports news, the GFF First Division League Week 20 match between champions Real de Banjul and relegation-threatened Brikama United produced everything one would expect from a fierce football rivalry. But that's it for this bulletin of the news. Thank you very much for watching. Join Ade Darame and Mamoudou Mbodj for Weekend Review tomorrow at 8 p.m. Thank you very much and wish you the best of luck in the rest of the weekend.